Kim Kardashian has lived most of her adult life in the public eye, and because of that, her relationships have also been watched, judged, and talked about by millions of people around the world. Before she became one of the most famous women on the planet, Kim was just a young woman trying to figure out love, life, and identity. Her very first marriage happened in the year 2000, when she was only 19 years old. She secretly married music producer Damon Thomas, who was almost 10 years older than her. At the time, Kim was not famous, not wealthy, and not yet part of a media empire. Their marriage lasted about 3 years, and after it ended, both sides told very different stories. Kim later said she felt controlled and unhappy, while Damon denied those claims and said they were just young and in love. No matter which version is true, that marriage showed how early Kim entered adult relationships before fully knowing herself. A few years later, Kim became involved with singer Ray J, a relationship that would change her life forever. At the time, Ray J was already known in the music industry, while Kim was still working as a stylist and closet organizer. Their relationship eventually ended, but the private tape that later became public pushed Kim into global attention. While Kim turned that attention into reality TV, business deals, and long-term fame, Ray J struggled to escape being known only for that moment. As Kim's star rose, many people felt Ray J was left behind, and this created years of bitterness and public conflict. Soon after, Kim began dating actor and singer Nick Lachey. Their relationship was short, but it introduced Kim to another important part of fame: paparazzi culture. Nick later suggested that media attention followed Kim wherever she went, and some fans believe this relationship helped Kim learn how powerful publicity could be. Around the same time, Kim also dated Nick Cannon, who later described her as ambitious and focused on rising to the top. These early relationships all happened before Kim truly understood how big her fame would become, but they helped shape the image that followed her. In each case, Kim walked away with more attention, while the men often felt uncomfortable with how public everything became. This pattern would follow her for years, raising questions about whether the fame changed the relationships, or whether the relationships changed because of the fame. As Kim Kardashian's fame exploded through reality television and media coverage, her relationships became even more intense and harder to manage. One of her most serious early long-term relationships was with NFL star Reggie Bush. At the time, Reggie was seen as one of the most promising football players in the league, and Kim was becoming a household name. They dated on and off for several years, trying to make things work despite busy schedules and constant attention. Many fans loved them together, but the pressure of fame and career demands eventually pulled them apart. After they broke up, Reggie continued his football career, but some fans unfairly blamed Kim for him not reaching the legendary status they expected. This idea became part of what people later called the Kardashian curse. Even though careers in sports are affected by many factors, like injuries, team changes, and timing, Kim's next relationship would become one of the most talked-about celebrity marriages in modern pop culture. She married NBA player Kris Humphries after less than a year of dating, in a wedding that was filmed, televised, and turned into a massive media event. From the outside, it looked like a fairy tale, but behind the scenes, the couple struggled with different personalities, values, and lifestyles. Just 72 days later, Kim filed for divorce. The short length of the marriage turned Kris into a national joke almost overnight. Fans booed him, comedians mocked him, and many people reduced his entire identity to Kim Kardashian's ex-husband. Kris later admitted that the marriage followed him everywhere and affected how people treated him in basketball. Even though it would be unfair to say Kim ruined his career, it is clear that the public reaction to the marriage had a lasting impact on how he was seen. This period showed how dangerous fame can be when private relationships are turned into entertainment. After the divorce, Kim faced heavy criticism as well, with many people accusing her of using marriage for attention. However, she continued to grow her brand, proving she was able to survive scandals that might have ended someone else's career. This part of her life marked a turning point, where relationships were no longer just personal choices, but major public events with consequences for everyone involved. Perhaps the most important and complex relationship in Kim Kardashian's life was her marriage to rapper and fashion icon Kanye West. Before they got together, Kanye was already one of the most influential artists in the world, respected for his creativity and vision. When they married, many people saw them as a power couple who dominated music, fashion, and pop culture. Together they built a family and shared years of success, but they also lived under non-stop public attention. Over time, Kanye's struggles with mental health, public outbursts, political ambitions, and online behavior became harder to ignore. While some fans blamed Kim for not supporting him enough, others believed she stayed longer than she should have. When their marriage ended, Kanye's public image had changed dramatically, and many people connected that decline to the very public nature of their relationship. Still, it is important to remember that Kanye's issues existed long before the divorce, and fame only magnified them. After Kanye, Kim briefly dated comedian Pete Davidson. At first, the relationship seemed light, fun, and unexpected. However, it quickly became stressful when Kanye publicly attacked Pete online and in music. Pete, who has openly talked about mental health struggles, found himself dragged into a situation far bigger than he expected. While Pete survived the experience, many fans noticed that his career momentum slowed afterward, and his public image shifted. Once again, Kim moved on, while her partner dealt with the emotional aftermath. Looking back at all these relationships, it becomes clear that the common factor is not just Kim Kardashian, but the level of fame surrounding her. Dating Kim means living under a spotlight that never turns off, where mistakes are magnified and private problems become public stories. Some men were not ready for that pressure. Some made their own mistakes, and some were simply unlucky. In the end, the question is not whether Kim Kardashian ruins the men she dates, but whether anyone can truly survive love when the whole world is watching. Fame gives power, money, and opportunity, but it also takes privacy, peace, and sometimes even identity. And for those who step into Kim Kardashian's world, the cost has often been very high. Dating Kim Kardashian seems to come with its own unique set of challenges. Many of her ex-boyfriends, from famous athletes to Hollywood stars, had at some point expressed frustration, anger, or even regret about their relationships with her. The reason is not always clear at first glance, but when you take a closer look, a pattern emerges. Kim has built an empire over the years that revolves around media, attention, branding, and social presence. She is constantly in the public eye, whether through television, social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok, or fashion and beauty campaigns. When someone dates her, their lives are almost immediately thrust into the spotlight, sometimes without their consent or preparation. Even successful men who have accomplished a lot on their own suddenly find themselves known more for dating Kim than for their own achievements. Take Reggie Bush, for example. Despite winning a Heisman Trophy and having a promising football career, a large portion of public attention still associates him with Kim rather than his athletic achievements. This phenomenon is not just about fame, it is about the way Kim's personal brand interacts with the people around her. Her relationships often turn into public narratives where she is the central figure, and her exes are side characters. That can create frustration, jealousy, and even resentment over time. And this is not just speculation. Some of her ex-boyfriends have made public statements, dropped subtle hints in interviews, or shared personal experiences that suggest dating Kim came with unexpected complications. It is almost as if dating Kim is like signing a contract where your personal life is no longer entirely your own. Every photo, every public appearance, every social media post becomes part of the story that the world watches and critiques. People analyze your behavior, your fashion choices, your comments, and even your body language, because Kim's life has become intertwined with media scrutiny. And this constant spotlight can take a toll on relationships. Many exes have expressed frustration at how the public perceives them after being associated with Kim. Sometimes they feel misrepresented or overshadowed, and other times they feel like they are being unfairly judged simply for being part of Kim's life. Even when a relationship starts off private, the reality is that very soon it becomes a matter of public record, whether they want it or not. And for some men, this creates tension that lasts long after the relationship ends. In addition to media pressure, there are also differences in lifestyle, values, and personality that can make relationships complicated. Kim is a businesswoman who is very strategic about her image, and this can sometimes clash with partners who are not used to living life under such intense observation. Her exes often come from backgrounds where privacy was normal, and suddenly everything about their lives is being shared, commented on, and sometimes criticized online. This contrast can lead to disagreements, misunderstandings, and ultimately, resentment. On top of that, there are emotional dynamics to consider. Some exes feel that the relationship itself was complicated, and the way it ended left them with lingering bitterness. Others feel that the attention Kim receives amplifies minor conflicts into public spectacles, making it difficult to maintain a normal relationship. And while Kim herself may not intend harm, the effects of her public presence and brand strategy can sometimes unintentionally create tension. Over time, this has created a pattern where many of her exes express anger, disappointment, or even hatred after the relationship ends. They may feel exploited, overshadowed, or misrepresented, and social media makes it nearly impossible to hide those feelings. It is a cycle that repeats itself with different partners over the years, making the question of why do Kim Kardashian's exes seem to resent her a recurring theme in celebrity culture discussions. One of the most well-known and dramatic examples of a former partner resenting Kim Kardashian is Kanye West. Their relationship was highly publicized from the start, beginning in 2012 and ending in a very messy divorce. Kanye is a talented musician and cultural figure, but much of public conversation has shifted to focus on his relationship with Kim rather than his professional achievements. During their time together, the couple often made headlines for both romantic and controversial reasons. They had a child together, Northwest, which added another layer of complexity to their public life. From the very beginning, Kanye and Kim's relationship was under intense scrutiny. Social media, paparazzi, and entertainment news outlets followed their every move, commenting on their fashion, behavior, and public appearances. Over time, tension developed around parenting, public image, and legal issues. Recently, the focus has been on their daughter North, particularly her social media activity and public appearances. There has been a lot of controversy around the way North is presented online, with some people criticizing Kim for allowing her daughter to wear clothing that some consider too mature for her age. Kanye has reportedly expressed concern over this, allegedly threatening legal action if he feels that North's privacy or well-being is being compromised. While neither Kim nor Kanye have confirmed these reports, they reflect the ongoing tension and public drama surrounding the family. The situation highlights a larger pattern in Kim's relationships. The constant presence of media and public attention creates conflicts that are not always private. Kanye's relationship with Kim demonstrates how even a powerful and confident individual can feel frustrated or resentful when their personal life becomes public spectacle. Beyond parenting disputes, Kanye's behavior towards Kim after the divorce has included social media posts, interviews, and public statements that have been interpreted as attempts to undermine her or express anger. Some of these actions have been shocking or controversial, such as posting images online or making remarks that are critical of Kim's new relationships. This behavior has led many observers to conclude that the relationship ended on bad terms, and that Kanye harbors ongoing resentment. However, it is important to note that Kim's own approach to public life is a major factor. She built her brand on exposure, social media, and visibility, and this sometimes conflicts with the desire of exes to maintain privacy. For Kanye, someone who values autonomy and control over his image, this contrast creates tension. The intersection of celebrity culture, parenting, and public perception has made the Kim-Kanye story particularly high-profile, but it also illustrates the broader pattern of why some exes feel negatively after dating Kim. The public sees the drama as entertainment, but behind the headlines are real people navigating complicated emotions and public scrutiny. The dynamics of power, fame, and control make it challenging for exes to feel entirely respected or understood. In many ways, Kanye's case is a cautionary tale for anyone dating someone as prominent and media-focused as Kim Kardashian. It shows how relationships can become entangled with branding, legal concerns, and constant commentary from fans and critics alike.